Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jeneth Lyanca.
And I'm Bianca.
This is the Hustle Mystic Morning Show. Today it's just me and Bianca, and we are talking about the energetics of money.
Money.
Feel that we have become the experts of how to create based on your desires and how to create wealth from within. I feel like there would be people out there that has no idea who we are. I want to start a little bit with our background together, our individual expertise,
Okay.
just so that you have a minute to really realize the depth of your host here. Oftentimes, consciousness just takes us on a ride and we don't know where we're going to end up. And I feel that we both have been on such a ride.
Yeah.
As far as exploring consciousness, exploring online business, exploring whatever the next thing is that the universe puts in front of us, whether it was channeling or Notre Dame or hypnosis or QHHT or Akashic Records or hands-on body work. We have together all these things that the universe keeps nudging us towards and saying, hey, you might want to look into this to become a greater healer, to become
and share on it.
Yeah, a healer, a therapist, whatever you want to call it.
Yes. And money coach.
And money coach, which I feel coming really high on our resume lately. The amount of people that we work with and talk with about simply looking at these places of unworthiness, and these places of, I had a client recently where some of the points of view in her head around it were her parents' point of view.
Right.
It wasn't even that she even thought she even had her own point of view around money and how money came or went. It was just, what is this? You just work and you do this job and money comes.
Yeah.
And it's not exactly like that, especially after you have a spiritual awakening.
Exactly.
So we're talking about how to do money once you've had a spiritual awakening.
Or on your spiritual path, how to work with money and have more money, generate money, have money love you in a spiritual way, in a conscious way. Let's just jump into the accolades. Do you want to start with a little bit about your story?
So I had an awakening in 2005. I was working a corner office at Dell Computers that I was really proud of at the time. And I had a surgery previously in the month, and I was struggling. And I was also struggling because things were different after the surgery. And I basically thought it was the drugs I was on. Later, I really feel that was my true awakening moment, whatever we want to call it, whether I'm walk-in or not.
Yeah.
The jury doesn't really matter if we label it.
Yeah.
So I had, after going through this spiritual awakening, went back to my corporate job. And things just started getting really bad. Things were already bad. I was already saying when I went into the surgery, when my husband asked, hey, she could die, I was like, okay, that would be fine. At least I'd be under anesthesia and get out of this world pretty easily.
Yeah.
So things already weren't great. I was depressed. I had anxiety. I felt like I was doing the daily grind. I was like that Zest commercial. Zest. It's the daily grind, but at least I've got zest in the morning or something like that. So that was a glimmer into my life. And that was back in 2005. And so basically the universe kicked me out of corporate after that. I've shared the story of when people were asking me stupid questions in the bathroom, like the whole drama and everything. Once I got kicked out of corporate, I started being nudged and guided. And I wrote this book. It's called 7 Dragons, A Guide to a Limitless Mind. It was channeled. It was inspired. It happened in 90 days.
That's
from
amazing.
when I wrote the first word all the way through getting it out into press.
Wow.
It was an Amazon bestseller.
Nice.
It really took a life of its own. In fact, people were like, you should do courses on this book. And people are still telling me that. So I wrote that book in 2007, and that was the beginning of it all. Talking about money, then that's when yes, the book took a life of its own, but it's not like people were buying a book and then saying, hey, can you be my coach?
Yeah.
So book monies were just like hardly anything. So then I went on a journey on how to grow an online business, teaching this stuff, teaching us how to deal with the dragons in our mind and how to deal with all these resistance. And then go to show years later, dragons show up a little bit different. We can go linear in the story, but that's where it all started. So I started to find ways to make money. And some of the ways that I found to make money was to interview people and to get in front of their sales. I've had my products of my own, but that was really my way to really get that money engine flowing. And I wouldn't have met Lyanca if I hadn't been doing some of this work at the time. So
we'll go into that too. Go ahead.
Do you want to share that?
Or? Sure. I'll share that in a little. Go ahead.
Okay. Technically, I think we're almost at that spot.
Okay,
depending how long we want this.
No. Okay, so my spiritual journey was very similar. I worked in corporate. I did all the things. I really grew up in a troubled house. My mother was a drug addict. My father was a drug dealer. And I was beautifully blessed with two grandparents that took me in. I ended up being a child that my mother was very depressed. And so I took the word out at the age 7 of my vocabulary of the word depression. And so as such, yes, I had a very successful growing up. I chose to be opposite of my parents. I was always very studious. I did all the things. I got all the accolades. I got straight A's. I did all the things. And I was a very joyful kid. I know now that I understand different spirituality that I chose my parents because I knew that I was going to come in and be happy. I even have the remembrance now of losing my parents and being like, look, but despite all that, she's so creative and he's so smart and I got this. So I've always been a very happy person, very happy kid. And then when I went to work, I was working in radio and television for about my career spans about 17 years. But through that process, I started to become just almost resentful of the way in which we were doing business and the way in which the transactional life business was really happening. And I found myself really not loving where I was in life. Got married, had my son. I wouldn't even see him ever. I was missing something. And during that time, right when I met Jeneth while I was pregnant, I decided that I was going to get my certification for life coaching and I was going to walk away and start my own business. And so I remember I was like, how's the fastest way to break into a new industry and get new clients? And it was at that time I was like, I'm going to go to a networking event. Yep. So I went to a life coaching networking event, which I'd never been to. And I've been in corporate for all this time. So
I didn't do it very often.
And so I see this lady at the beginning at the front of the room and it was Jeneth. And she's talking about doing business, right? And that's what I went to school for business, right? And she's talking about doing business with all the elements of the earth, wind, and fire. And I'm like, what? Yeah. What is she saying? What is this woo stuff? Yeah. But what she was saying was really resonating. And I thought, And all of a sudden I heard this voice that was not mine. It was very declarative. It basically said, you're going to work with her. And I go, huh? And I looked again and I had this vision, this image, and I go, I'm going to work with her. And it wasn't it was just one of those things that was okay. And at that time, I didn't even know what it was to follow my guidance. But I knew that she had gave us these cards that said that she was doing a telesummit. And I didn't know what a telesummit was, but she said that I can listen and find out more information about this woo stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm listening in. On the telesummit. It's really this setup, but back then it was
just on the phone.
Yeah, it was podcasting before podcasting. So this is how she was doing with her business. And I'm listening and she's talking about having a live event here in Austin. One of the things that I did really was produce live events and produce them on a mass scale for advertisers in radio and television. And so she's talking about this big event, and I'm thinking, great, I'll just volunteer and then I can get some more content, learn some more stuff. So I write her, I send her email, and I guess to what Jeneth says, I stalked her. And she finally told me, yeah, and she was like, okay, fine, I'll meet with you. Because I worked in sales, so I knew just stay on it. I didn't think anything. And so she invited me to come meet with her. And the first thing that was funny was that she didn't live that far from her office and her house. It wasn't that far from my house. And so I drove over there and we talked for a little while. And I'm telling her my experience, and she was like, great, I'll hire you. So she became my first client, if you will. And you can produce the whole thing. And I'm like, what happened? So we started working together, and we did create some really amazing and revenue generating events and live events here in Austin. And the magic around that was just so amazing. And lo and behold, I did get pregnant, and my husband ended up getting a job at Nike, and we had been working together. And so I had to move to Portland, and we thought that was a good place for our life. And while we're moved, it was harder for us to continue to work together in that space. And I think now I know I had to grow in my own way. And during that time, I became a certified QHHT practitioner. And I'll go into this really quickly, but basically I went and did my first session. And QHHT is taught by Dolores Cannon, and they do a lot about healing, and you can get past life regression. So I go in, I'm all timid. I don't even know what is anything about this stuff, but I knew that I had this fear of my child dying. And so it was really hard for me because I was a new mom. So I go and I lay down, and I'm in this room, and I'm not really into the woo, but I had read all the books. And the lady starts to take me under, and all of a sudden I go past consciousness, past to a white light, to this room that I describe as being like the Star Wars room, right? And this man, I see him there, and the lady's asking me, so she's okay, what else? And I was like, and I remembered I had said that no matter what I saw, I was going to tell the truth. And so she goes, does he want you to come over there? And I was all scared. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, what is he saying to you? And he says, he wants to speak with me, and he wants to speak with you. And so I was telling the practitioner. She says, okay, can you ask him about himself? And she says, so I ask him, and she says, what did he say about himself? And I said, he said his name is, and I couldn't even say the name. I said, he said his name is Nostradamus. And I'm like, what am I talking about? And we go.
How this work opens you up, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? Yeah. So long story short, after that session, we went on to do many more journalistic sessions where I have channeled Nostradamus, been on a space starship through the QHET sessions, channeled way showers, opened up my own channel, and now teach others how to open your channel, how to connect with source, and how to use your Akashic records and QHHT to connect with your higher self. And to do all this with generating more money in your life and more ease. A little bit about your accolades. I'll turn it back over.
Yeah. So after we met and we did some events together, we had a little hiatus between us. And I went on my own path, and I ended up working with a Beverly Hills celebrity hypnotherapist.
Nice.
And learned hypnotherapy and the way that he did it. And it was really enlightening for me to realize how easy it is to change our belief systems by going into a visualization.
Uh-huh.
Well, and I'm a writer, I think, by innateness. So I like to write. So it was really, and I like to go into imaginary land.
Uh-huh.
And I always have. So I've written a novel. It's called Falling in Stilettos. There's 2 of my raw books out there, and I have some collective books as well. I already like to go into the visual and create the stories. So being a hypnotherapist was just incredibly fun for me to say, okay, here's the kind of suggestions that we need for somebody who has this thing.
Uh-huh.
And then I got to craft and create from a hypnotherapy way. While I did that, I also took every single class within Access Consciousness and learned how to talk to bodies and work with bodies and stuff like that. And it's just deep. But most of my work, even the hypnotherapy work today, really works with you in session where you're in an alpha state. So still very aware, but you are literally seeing the energetic patterns within inside of you. And so I pretty much say, this is living inside of you right now. Let's see if it's even yours to live with or set it free. And we just follow the energy in a very somatic way. And I also, since we've been working together in How Hustle, we did a summit and my channel came online, and it came online very strong at the beginning. And it is an Arcturian guardian dragon family. Yeah. And so these Arcturian dragons they call themselves guardians, and I'm a high priestess within that, so to speak. It sounds very crazy when I say it that way. They often will come through, and I do these dragon voyages, and oftentimes then I'll channel Ormetis, which is the name of my high priestess channel group or collective.
When you say it says, when you were saying that, I was like, try telling people that you channeled Nostradamus.
I know.
That sounds funny when it comes out of my mouth.
It sounds really significant when people are, I channel Jesus. I know. I channel even Mary Magdalene. In a way, there's significance put on that. It's a lot more fun to just go galactic and go out dragon.
I thought so. But then I finally was like, no, that is exactly what happened. And it was in a journalistic report. So I have to own that and keep coming out with it more. How does that benefit people today? Let's talk about what we're going to do today.
So we've got eight big categories around money that we want to talk with you about today. And I'd love, one of the guests already put in one of their worry struggles. You can put in any of your struggles. This doesn't have to be around money. What are your challenges? And we'll work with you a little bit. But when we looked at this and really went into both our channeling states, the Akashic records, and we were really truly playing with the energy of what is this weirdness with people and money on this planet, what we came down to is there's this collective program around worthiness, where it's like on some level through almost every hypnosis session one of us have gotten to, they might not say these words exactly, but it's this kind of energy of, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy to receive. What else would you say that sometimes it would be, my product isn't good enough. And that's why I can't sell. But that's still yet a justification to who they actually are being underneath why their product isn't good enough. Because probably they're like somebody that was the older me that just liked to slap something against a wall and see if somebody would buy it. And I didn't even trust in it myself that it was good enough to be out there.
Or we had listened to some guru that told us some business guru that told us, oh, you need to do this many sales, this many advertisements, you need to spend this exact amount in order to get this ROI, right? And that, again, was a very masculine way to do business. It was a very masculine way to do sales, which was the way in which what's so repulsive to me in the corporate world with advertising. And it wasn't really from a place of true, like, I had so many clients have told me, I love the way that y'all work, because what it does is it allows clients to be exactly who they are. And when I help people with sales, for example, to share from their place of worthiness and being, and rather than it being some transactional numbers game. And so that's why we have success in ways that we don't even understand sometimes. Yeah. Like, we've been building this community from this iteration for about 2 years, but the types of success that we've already experienced surpasses what the general numbers should be. And we laugh about it because we're like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Like, we see all these different wins lens. And when you look at it from those places, they're like, we shouldn't be there, but we are. Yeah. And we know that's really because we are showing up from a place of we're pulling in the people that most just want to be here through invitation of how we show up. Yeah. And it's taken a while to get there, but
2 years. I feel like
but this has been a culmination.
We're going to keep growing.
Yeah, exactly. A culmination of, when I say taking a while to get there, I meant like a culmination of all of the things that we've learned over the years, all the access classes, right? All the things to bring you what we have now in this really beautiful container and space that we do. And so we talk about money, but money is just, if money hangs people up the most sometimes, right? So people mostly can see their hangups and they can see where they're not really being truly energetically sound or aligned because they can see that in their bank account, right? But the truth is that you can apply any of these principles to any part of your life, whether that's calling somebody in to be your spouse or partner, or whether it's writing your next book. These are all the things that you can do. The principles that we teach around money are all the things that you can do to enhance every area of your life, no matter what that looks like. It just so happens that money is the one that we like to talk about because we believe that, and we'll go back into this. Yeah. We believe that like more wonderful, more good people, right? Because there's this belief that, okay, when I say this, money is the root of all what?
Evil.
Right? So many people grew up with that. And so we have this idea that there's bad people with money. And so many times we might be pushing money away. And so we believe that more people, good people, should have more access to money so they can do more good things. And we can create this new earth together, right? So we're just another form of financial freedom. And that'll be my piece right now.
Love it. I wanted to address this question from Liz on the chat. And she says, one of my struggles is about worrying about being more successful, particularly financially. Now, with these, I like to sometimes take when the charge comes up, mostly so that you can see when the charge comes up. And this is when the charge comes up. She says, particularly financially.
And that's why I said
And she also says, then others closest to me.
Okay.
Which means that she is on an energetic level constantly comparing herself. Doesn't that seem like that would be a lot of work and a little bit of heaviness would go on there? So here's how we like to grab some of these. So if you can relate, and maybe you're comparing yourself to other people where you're just not financially as successful, or not just, you don't think of yourself as a success in general. Everything that comes up when I ask that question about you, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate?
Yes.
And take a breath. This is one of the simplest ways. There are questions that we just don't ask in our lives. There are things that we say, and that's not even her question here. You're addressing that I'm comparing myself, but the reason I'm addressing is because that's an energy that's going on with her all the time. So sometimes it's easy enough to just bring awareness to something and you can get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can't, but oftentimes with little ones like that, you'll be like, oh, I am comparing. That's weird. Why can't I just do my best and be my best self and stop doing that extra energy? You're spending extra energy on something where you could be spending that energy on creating a better life, more finances or whatever. Okay, so I wanted to address that part. The second part here then is there's a conversation that I had with an supervisor at my first retail job. And in that moment, they said, you're not afraid of failing. You're afraid of succeeding. There's a few things going on here.
Wait, okay, go ahead.
And this still isn't the question.
Yeah.
But just want to address it just so that y'all can see it too and how your language comes through.
Uh-huh.
So if somebody gives you a statement and says something about you, ever, Doesn't matter if you were 4, 18, 88. If they say something about you, that doesn't mean that you are that. And there are so many places that we've solidified these words that other people's stupid opinions have said about us. And they may or may not be true, but you need to go into your knower and say, is that true for me? So in this question, then you'd have to go in and go, is it true that I can fail? Okay, cool. But maybe I'm afraid of succeeding. Is that really true for you? Is what you need to ask. And then the next question we'd ask from an energetic state is, does it really matter if you know your soul's path and your purpose and you're choosing based on that?
Aha. Yeah. There you go.
To continue the question and to get to the question, she said, every now and then I remember that conversation and how I was like, yeah, you're right.
There it is. They're good. So that's the point of giving your power away.
That's the point of giving your power away. And it still lingers. And it's something I want to focus on letting go this year.
Good for you. Good for you for pointing that out. And thank you for being so vulnerable, too.
Yep.
This is a no judgment zone.
And I'm not going to call out names for this.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And we're no judgment zone. So I want y'all to know that anything that we do, it's all of in a place of love, that our audience is so loving. And we want everybody we all do it. I have that, too. I've done it. I probably had it yesterday and come up in some ways. But I now know these principles and these tools and these questions to ask. To go, wait, is that true?
Yeah. So I just want to show you how this works on a hypnotic level, if that's okay. And it doesn't have to take long.
Yeah.
I know we don't have a ton of time. So go ahead and just, if you'd close your eyes, and anybody can do this, and look for a pattern in your life where somebody gave you a thought about yourself. You are ambitious. It doesn't have to be a bad thought. It could be. But in her case, it needs to be, you're afraid of succeeding. You are afraid of succeeding. You will always be. It's a part of your identity. That's how special you are. You among the rest of the group. Great.
I found my reason why.
Yep. You in the entire universe, you are the only one here that is just dang afraid of succeeding. So you will never succeed. And just find that pattern in your body. And what you can either go, heck no, that's wrong, get out, bye-bye. Or you can go in and actually go, where is it in my body? Do I notice around my heart, my shoulders, my solar plexus? Where is that pattern in your body? And really go in it and just see it and go, hi, hello, hi, you're living inside of me. So I'm just going to say hello to you.
What's up?
What's up? And just see it and get all the colors, the flavors, the tastes, all the energy that comes up around this. And then you can say, hey, can we change this pattern? You might notice like when it's what point of creation. Sometimes people will come to me with an image and they're like, and she even has the story of when it happened. So maybe she remembers what she was doing at the time that supervisor said that to her. So she could go back into the story. And what you can do with hypnosis is you can change the story. So then in a session like this, you would go in and go, no, I'm not, right? And you could actually change the whole narrative around that so much that when you would embrace what you really want to choose around this. Because every point of view that you have creates. And if you have a point of view that you're afraid to be successful, you will always be afraid of being successful in the rawest sense.
And many people don't realize that they are afraid of being successful. And so what that might show up is, okay, am I afraid of being successful? And I'm like, heck no, I want to be successful. But then it's, okay, then I go, okay, what does that look like? I'm trucking along. I'm successful. Will I have to leave my friends behind? Will people not like me?
Yeah.
Remember, one of the things I said was, if I show up too boldly, I'm going to be judged. If we get too big, oh my gosh, look at the Kardashians. They get judged so much, right? That was one of the things that was hidden in there as a belief system. And in a sense, we will sabotage our success, right? Having those little ways in which that they insidiously lie within our subconscious as other things. Many people might, sometimes women are worried about from some old stuff about being more successful than their husband. These are all little things that hide as weird ways.
Under that category of being unworthy.
Right? Because I didn't want to be on a global stage, because I didn't want to be seen and I didn't want to be judged. And if I didn't want to be judged, what was I trying to hide?
Yeah.
It was my unworthiness. Yes. So I just wanted to show y'all how I was like, I want to be successful. What does that look like?
Yeah.
And you have to find, and this is why I'm a big proponent of journaling, you have to find sometimes how you can reformulate that question.
Yeah. And I thought I didn't have a worthiness problem at all, but then I had this layer of always trying to prove how good I was.
Yeah. It's so funny because you and I are so opposite.
It was like, I was almost narcissistic around it.
No.
A little bit. It was because I was just so good at proving how good I was. Yeah. And so then once I lost that layer of proving, it then ended up to be me finding that I was actually thought that I'm not good enough. And I was like, wait, what? Is that still in there? So then you go back in, you go into the pattern. And she responded with, I remember I just had a great sale and was putting the demo product back. She's LOL. And so it was almost just somebody designed to shut people down.
Yeah.
I'm among a higher hierarchy, so I can make you feel that you're not good enough, probably because you just had a great sale and they felt like crap because they probably haven't been doing as well serendipitously.
It doesn't even really matter, whatever reason that they had to do it.
You can make a new narrative around it.
That's it right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she says, there's so much hesitation with letting myself shine. Exactly. Here.
Well, and that's exactly what
Jeneth, prove it to you. I'm over here. Oh, no, I don't want you looking at me. And that's two different ways in which an aspect can show up.
Yep.
And both needed to be cleared, but they were on the different sides of the spectrum as well. But same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that this goes miles deep, but I do want to go through some of the other ones. And some of the limiting patterns will even show up as unworthiness. So some of the limiting patterns we had written down was money is hard to make.
I like calling it limiting beliefs, because sometimes some of these things that we hold as truth and we don't even know.
Yeah. But this one probably goes deeper. There's never enough.
Yep.
I'll lose it if I get it. We talked yesterday about water, it being like water and just going through your fingers. That is a point of view that then people solidify because it acts like water. So then they see it like water when there's not a ton of water there and your hand isn't in the ocean. So then they'll see it as just a faucet that goes through all your fingers. Does that make sense?
No, but that's okay. I think it made sense yesterday.
I like to look at money like water.
Okay.
And so you can't hold on to water.
Okay.
Not if it's just a little faucet here.
Okay.
So if a faucet was above my hand here and it would go sprinkling down, it would there'd be nothing for me to really hold unless I cupped this little bit and then tried to hold on for dear life, and then I'd squish it and then it'd all squish out anyway.
Okay.
But if your hand isn't in just trying to get these trickles, but you can put your hand in the ocean, then it doesn't need to be held because it will move.
Okay, so it's about moving.
Okay, so that wasn't the best visual. That's okay.
It's about moving. No, because it's about where you're being, right?
It's where you're being, right? So if you're the drop in the ocean.
You're playing with just the droplets when there's the whole ocean available to you, then the money as the water as money was so available, right?
Yes.
Because there's so much in the ocean. I gotcha.
Yeah,
but we're over here just trying to hold these droplets. So instead you could be a whole nother being with it to where that you're united and there's just overflow because look how grand the ocean is. That makes total sense to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I just had to get there.
Thank you for because I think everyone else probably did too.
Good.
Because I've
now let's take this one. Yeah, sure. Let's take it one step further. With that same analogy, whenever we tried to hold onto money, like whenever we tried to hold, let's say we have a lot of money, so you've got a little container. You maybe put both hands there, right?
Sure.
You got a little container, and now you're like, I don't want to give any away. I don't want to drop any. I don't want to give any away. So then you stay here. But what it is that you don't allow that money to go back into circulation and you spend all your time just trying to hold on to this little bit of money. No, I got it. I got all the right money investment. I got all the things. I got my bank. It makes this much in interest, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, got all the computations in your...
But you don't move and you don't do anything with it because you're so afraid of getting out of this position.
Losing it.
Because you're going to drop your money.
Yes.
When all of this is available to you.
When you could be walking through the ocean. Yep.
So just wanted to give you that. Another way in which we block ourselves. But you can change it.
Yeah. And I hope that you guys are really getting this.
I think so.
I feel like sometimes when we talk about this, there's this conscious field that then comes and says, yes, and.
Yes.
And so when I really look at this, I can see how people are like, it's good to have money, right? Because then you start having this belief of having money, right? So you have this little cup of money. So in some way, the having it then creates another frequency where you have money, especially if you've had none.
Yes.
Okay. So I just want to share with you that everything that you do around this, it could possibly change your frequency.
Oh.
If you could take your little couplet and say, I'm going to reinvest this bucket, then you might start to follow the energy of consciousness of your purpose, and then money can flow if that is something that you desire. I do feel that you've got to go for it with your desires instead of pulling back and saying, and sticking with all these limiting beliefs.
Another subconscious family belief is rich people are greedy. We're not money people.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Again,
everything
that goes back to comparison. Yeah. Thank you. That goes back to comparison. It goes back to not just following your own intuition, following your own path. We've had a few calls on your personal self-identity programming, not related to money, sometimes related to money, and they've been wild, life-changingly wild. We'll both get off those calls and go, what? So one of my favorite things to do with looking at your identity around money is if you were a child of somebody insanely rich that you admire, that is actually creating the life that you actually want to lead. Say you are a child of
Paris Hilton.
Okay, you were a child of Paris Hilton. I don't know why you chose that one, but that's funny. And
I was just thinking Paris Hilton was a child that was born into money.
Yeah. Then how might your life be different? What if money was already there? What if you were born in the ocean of money? How might you choose differently when you create each day? Would you have more worth? Would you feel better about yourself, even if you weren't actually creating your own money? What components of this, if you really look at it and you get down and you journal, what components of this do you know about yourself? And if you were to write all those down, how many of those points of view are holding you back? So that's a piece of that, just to go through these a little bit quicker so you get all of them, but we're not. Oh, rebellion. Rebellion was one of my identities. I have an arm of tattoos, which is a little bit of me being a rebel. But when I realized that I was just a rebel, I felt like I had my own cause. My cause was against my Christian parents,
Sure,
I guess, right?
Yeah.
But I realized that then it was almost like I had to do rebellion instead of really choosing for me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And this could be a rebellion against capitalism or materialism. So then you can see how whenever you rebel against capitalism, you're like, I'm not going to do capitalism. Then you can see how you're being an energetic unmatch for receiving money because you closed it down.
I love that. You went there.
You closed it down from being able to receive from all of consciousness. That rebellion piece and you taking that stance, can you see how that would repel you from and keep you from being a part of capitalism? And capitalism in some ways, in some forms, includes sales, right? So that, or let's say you're doing beautiful art and you wanted to sell that, but you're like, I don't like capitalism. So you don't share it online. You don't put it out and you don't ask to put your pieces out in front of this store at another person's store. And maybe they wanted to bring them in. And you're like, no, I'm not going to be any part of that. You see how that doesn't allow you to be more creative about the different places and spaces that you could show off your beautiful artwork. These cute, like in my mind, this cute little like pottery. Yeah. And so then can you see how that now blocks you from any potential sales and any other potential people seeing your beautiful artwork and then sharing it with their friends? You see how that right there, that one thing, that taking a stance and that belief that we had hold really limits us from the ability to create and be in that creative space. So just be on the where to look out for some of those nuances. And this is what we help you do. Go ahead.
Yeah. And this is what we help you do in the inner circle as well. And,
exactly.
Yeah. And just take off some of these leaping patterns as well. Leaping patterns.
The other one was that one with the epigenetics. So number 4 was the energetic and entanglements. And those could look like I'm carrying others' money's pain. Those could look like I'm carrying generational debt patterns. So basically any energetic ties, like my parents were always broke, primarily because there were the drugs involved, right? And so I grew up believing that there was not enough. And have you ever heard that money doesn't grow on trees? It does. It's paper. Why can't it? Like, why can't we just believe anything that we want to? Like, why can't we just blow up any beliefs that we have adopted from our parents? And so that one was the energetics of the environment around us.
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't, like, just because it's not the root of all evil doesn't mean it's the root of all happiness either. And I think anything that you make a declarative statement around that can block you receive. How many declarative statements do you say, no, it's this way?
Oh, I used to all the time.
Right?
Yeah.
It's no, maybe it's not. Maybe it actually is just you and your perception think that instead of it actually coming from an energetic source. I think it's so, yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to go there. That's going to be too long. What other questions do you have? Actually, maybe we should go into Mystique and then we can come back and ask more questions. So feel free to put some questions in the chat, raise your hands. We're going to talk a little bit about the inner circle and the benefits of it. Some people are in it just for the coupon code and other people are in it for the whole shebang and part of the community and everything. So just keep that in mind as we go through this. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the sales page and let's talk about how you can be a part of our inner circle and what that really gives you.
Yeah. Why are we talking about money, how we're sharing today? And why are we talking about the inner circle? Because this is just an extra way that we can take you through the work that we do so that you can have the most expanded life, business, whatever those things look like for you. We just happen to be talking on the subject of money, but those, again, the principles can be applied. And we have a cool little way for you to continue to working with us in that way.
And if you join now, you can also, if you get the year-long program, you can get a free ticket to our live event.
I know, it's exciting.
I should add that to the
where we take it further and even deeper.
Right. So this is really just about continuing to practice and to practice with a group in a mastermind where they're always challenging you to reach out and be your highest self in each now moment. Why is it different? This is truly a frequency playground, right? With mystics, people coming, a lot of them are channeling. Some of their channels have come online. Some of them really know personal development and can support you in that way as well. This isn't a therapy call as much as it is really showing you how you can be one and oneness with the universe.
And let's just be honest, where other places are you in spaces are you getting this type of information? It's like I know that I'm not having these conversations with my friends that I have in my regular spaces. And this is a very unique place where I don't think anything is happening by accident. And so all of the people that are in the group now, it's divinely guided. And so we are here together to enhance each other's gifts because we've got great stuff that we're doing in the world.
Absolutely.
Whether that's just being the best mom that I actually ever can be. And the gifts as we are around each other, our gifts are expanded whenever you are in the environment of others. So gifts, intuitive gifts, your clair audience, all your clairs, they come online. We show each other how to use ours better. We talk about our different really crazy experiences because we're also you can have this kind of conversation. So this is really truly the magic in the whole program, but it also comes with some amazing bonuses too.
Absolutely. So that's the meat of it, is the mastermind group. And now we're just going to go through everything else. You get access to all the summits, for one. So if you've already bought the summit and you would like this and said, we will refund your summit purchase.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So that's all the past summits and the future summits too. And remind you, we're doing a summit every season, and every season is each quarter. So we're doing a summit every quarter. And then we also do a live show, but you get access to all the future summits too.
Yep. And there'll be a live event in October.
That's right.
Yep. Okay. And what else you get is if you are one that buy a lot of special offers, you get a 10% off code for any of the special offers that we host on our site. And that literally comes out of How Hustle. We still give our speaker the full percentage that their commissions.
Yeah.
Just so you know, like we want you in here, we want you to play with us, and that's just one of the benefits of it.
One of the other benefits too is because when you are learning the special offers of the other speakers because we endorse these speakers, right? Yeah. When you're learning all that stuff, you bring it to the group. And so we want you to be able to consume this information. So we give you that discount so that you can buy other offers. And then you bring your new awarenesses to the group to share on those. Many times it just happens by osmosis. It's not like we're asking you to present on them or anything like that. All of this information, all of the things that we do and the reasons why we have all the summits included is because everything builds upon each other, and many things we will have each other go back and relook at. Or do you be like, do you remember that interview that we did with this and this where we talked about this? And everybody's, oh yeah, let me go look for that. And so they'll go rewatch a piece of it, and then we can come back and have a deeper, bigger conversation, which elevates everybody else. This is like a real master inspired higher universe program, like teaching program that is teaching us and all of y'all, and it contributes back and forth. That's what I got to say.
Yes, the universe orchestrates everything that we do.
Yes. And for real.
What else you get is priority access to asking questions on summits and during our regular live show. We will take all the Mystique members and their questions before we take anybody else. Just because, for one, we're a part of a community, and we really want to support them as much as we can.
So they get like all the readings all the time.
They get all the readings from the benefit of that is really a lot, because one psychic that gives you that you're showing up on the call and you ask one question that could totally change your life. Yes, had that happen.
We had, even in our summits with our speakers, in those 5 minutes.
Yeah, they'll break you through the next level faster. So I feel like that's a huge benefit.
Yeah.
You also get a flat fee of $150 to work with either me or Lyanca whenever you need it throughout the entire year that you're a Mystique member, unless we've agreed to have it at a different price point with you already.
Which is great, because sometimes my sessions are valued at $444. Jeneth's is probably more than that. And so this is just a great way, because we want to be able to support our members here. Look, the whole thing is we want you to grow. The people that are already in this group, the level of different things that they have done that they have never even done in their life before, It blows my mind. Like I was in tears hearing some of the things that people were doing, whether it's driving in and choosing themselves for the first time in a long time as a mom. I chose to come anyway. I haven't done anything for myself in a long time and chose to come to the live event. And I thought, damn, that's cool. Or somebody getting on a plane for the first time to come and be with us. What? Wow.
Or somebody who is totally blind.
Yes. Oh, it was such a badass. And opened me up. So everybody else's gifts, or another person was sharing about how they are connecting with all of the intergalactic beings and of their past and their past lifetimes, and the questions that we can ask that person, right? And it opens ourselves up, each other. So the different types of transformations that are happening in this group was like indescribable. I can't even describe it. Can you think about how that would even benefit your money? That's just an afterthought, right? Yeah. Like that money gets to totally be the symptom of that greatness.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Having support, getting support, always having somebody there. A lot of people actually have like buddies. Within
their friends.
They become friends, and they like pull each other up, and they just,
I love
one thing at a time. It's pretty freaking.
I think about our Mystique people all of the time.
Yeah.
And when they ask questions, I'm like, secretly, I'm like, yes, because their questions, if you've listened on the speakers or whatever, some of them they don't even have a specific thing that they're like, that's ailing them. And many times at first they wouldn't raise their hand and they're like, I'm good. Yeah. And so when they would ask a question, it's either really one of those, you can tell that they've been doing some journey work, or they'll be like, yeah, no, I just felt like you have a reading for me, a message for me, because they can tell that intuitively.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Most definitely. 100%. When do we meet? The mastermind is once a month. It's the second Wednesday of each month. It is also at 4 p.m. Pacific. So if you're looking to go, could I actually even come live? We really like you live. We do send the replay out for within a couple days after. Last month, Lyanca led it. And it was about sadness, and how to be with sadness. Really be.
Yeah.
And it's just profound.
Yeah,
one jumped off another. And then we got to be like, wow, this is an experience.
Yeah. And it was something that it was really stemmed from a place something I was going through. My grandmother moved, couldn't walk. And so she's had to move to another house where my aunt can take her, which was 2.5 hours away. But because she was the one that raised me, and her house was the place that was like safety. Well, y'all heard my story where my parents were not around. It was a place of safety and a place of whatnot. So I was really dealing with a lot of just real person sadness. And so I wanted to bring that into the group. And it ended up being maybe something exactly what people needed. I don't even want to say maybe. It's exactly what people needed to hear, probably, because Spirit runs this thing.
Absolutely. I just put the link in the chat, you guys. If this is something that calls you and you're like, yes, I'm in, here is the investment for it. And I wrote this up yesterday. I put this one little line up here after I got off the call. And I was thinking, gosh, this is like a living, breathing membership, right? It's like when you come in, you can take it and do it just for 1 month if you want to, and say, no, I don't like it. Ease and flexibility. But most people that sign up for the monthly, they're there every month anyway.
Yeah, they decide to go and do the annual.
It's just a really fun place to go deeper and as I said, let it unfold to eternity, because it's very much one little thing that you learn, you take with yourself for life.
For life.
And if we could really bust through that belief system earlier, where she had a point of view that she's never going to be successful, or great at failing, but never great at actually succeeding.
Actually, it was backwards, but she never fails, but she was afraid of succeeding, right? Yeah. So think about how that would, how that blocks you from your blessings, just holding that one little
belief system.
And these are the things that we blow through. These are the things that come up in these conversations that are so unconsciously hidden that we can facilitate for. And we do that as well. Let's see.
We've talked a lot about the crazy in the summit. We've talked a lot about the rich in the summit, but this is really your path to freedom.
I love that. It is. Yeah. Imagine being the person that was like, I've never gotten on a plane. I've never gone to be with people that I don't know before. Look at the freedom that can create. Now that's something that's like available for that person, right? And more things are going to be available for that person if they want, right? More things that they're choosing life. They're choosing themselves. It's not anything that we're doing. It's you get to do for you. So the different price structures are the $37 a month. You can just choose to do it monthly. $167 for six months. So it just charges $167 if you just want to say, okay, I'll just do it for the 6 months. But the biggest special is going to be the discount plus gets you the free gift to the live event. I'll get it out there, Jeneth, I promise. Is $222 annually. So that you can do a 2-pay option, which is get started for $111 and choose you. And then the other happens in a month. So basically, we wanted to make it super freaking easy for you to choose you. That's it. Like, we want everybody to have these types of all of the things available for you. And we're always adding to this, and you're going to get all the summits. You're going to get all the things that we just continue to build from, that we learn from.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for your beautiful comments. Joe says Mystique has been a spiritual lifesaver.
Oh, for me in the past couple months together, they've all supported through the diagnosis of the colon cancer and how it brings in a teacher. Yes, he has the community. He's got friends there now that are supporting like that. Oh gosh, that makes my heart just feel so wonderful. Thank you for saying that, Joe.
Wow, thank you. And Liz, yes, you're definitely welcome to.
Liz, yes, come join us. I know all the other people have been writing to you and already been saying, you need to be a part of Mystique because they cheerleader on each other. Yeah. So yes, please join us.
And if you have any questions, you can always email us at team@houthustle.com. I'll put it also in the chat. I think it's probably at the bottom of the page too, but sometimes people don't feel like they can use it.
I love this group so much. I'm so proud of it.
Yeah. No,
It is so cool.
It's such a great group.
I know.
If you have any questions, email us. There's an email at the bottom of this page. It's houthustle.com/join. Of course, you can find it on the live page at houthustle.com/live. And you find it under our pretty faces.
Hey.
Yeah. Any other questions? Questions about the group? Questions about healing? Questions about anything? Do you guys, did I miss anything on that? What about on the YouTube? Do you see anything?
I think my feed went. I was so busy I didn't get to click on it. Let's see. I think one of the other things too that we get asked often is if they do the $37, could they come back? Yes, of course. Like you can, that's why you said it breathes so easy. So you can choose to do it this month and you'll be like, oh, you know what? I'm feeling really down right now. We have those seasons sometimes. Let me just try. Let me just see what it's like.
Yeah, the time you really should do it.
So, and you're like, let me just see what it's about.
Yeah.
Definitely use that as a taster as well. Wanda says, thank you, Jeneth and Lyanca, for an incredible session. Thank you, Wanda. Renee.
Can you blow? Yeah, we could.
We're working on it. You have to read the question. Yeah. Can we blow up the entire belief system, such as Christianity's teaching of money? Yes and no.
The thing is, is some truth. I know there's some truth in Christianity.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like there's some support there. Let us use all pieces of consciousness to support. And Christianity is another one of those things. Take the pieces that are wholesome, that are helping people, that are, because Christianity, it has its place. Like some people are saved by it. Like it has a moral compass for civilization. And I think anything that brings you back closer to spirituality is that it's a bonus for sure. Yeah. But take it with a grain of salt. So take the pieces that are really cool and then couple that with the things that you learn from here or there, or whether it's two completely opposite things, like the Book of Enoch versus this. Pull from those. And those are the things that we also talk about in the group too.
Yeah.
But I like it. I got you, Liz. There's a lot that's there. Well, you can blow it up. We can blow it up together, right?
Yeah,
we can unsubscribe to all that together.
Liz writes, this might be a conversation for a different time, but in case there's a crash course option, what are the thoughts on being an, quote, accident baby.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There aren't no accidents.
There are no accidents.
There ain't no accident.
Yeah. Where that energy of not wanting the pregnancy happens to transfer in the womb.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the thing. We choose our parents before we come in. So regardless if they thought that it was an accident or not, every single person, every single soul is absolutely meant to be here at this particular time. Otherwise, you would not. There are more. I've asked this question, and from what I understand, there are more souls wanting to come in to help elevate ascension than there are bodies. And now we're understanding that there are bodies to help hold some of those spirits. You happen to be one of the ones that have a really beautiful spirit that you wanted to come in at this time to help elevate the ascension. And you got to choose a body, and that was the body you chose.
And those were
the parents that you chose in order to come in. Now, did you know that they were going to have, did you forget that they were going to have this thing about not wanting a baby and how that transfers into the womb and how you hold that in your body? Yeah, that did happen. So you can definitely get you can even get a QHHT session to help rid your body and regulate the nervous system, and ask your oversoul, to your higher self, to heal that throughout the body. That you do a body scan, and then it helps to regulate the nervous system so that energetically you're not operating from that place. But just know that every single soul here has a signature resonance, and we make up a part of this bigger harmony, and you are never duplicated ever again. So you're specifically meant to be here, and I love that so much. And thank you for being here today in this call with us.
That's a cool question. And again, that's like a pattern that's living inside of you still, and you've got to go, how long am I going to choose this pattern?
Renee says, excellent point. Thank you. And Dana says, we are all on purpose. Yes, we are. We can't get it wrong.
Yeah.
The fact that we raised our hands, we choose to come here to this distance place to raise the elevation. We already got that part right. We're already on purpose in that way. Did we knew that we'd forget? Did we know we were going to forget at this level? Probably not.
I don't think that we did, because if I realize that I'm actually speaking toward Metis as an Arcturian,
yeah,
and
that's the beauty of it, though.
But it's how much do I go? I'm not a high priestess, really, because of that unworthiness condition. I feel too significant to shine like that. I know, but it's like, you know what? We've gotten to a point within this
that mess. Yeah, we're over that now. We're blowing that shit up. Let's see. Liz says, I don't feel out of pocket after reading this. Even after hearing that statement, it didn't feel like it quite fit, but I realized that I may carry that without knowing. Yeah, you will carry that without knowing. I felt that too, that she said, yeah, it's a pattern you're doing. I don't feel like you would do the pattern when I tune in energetically, but there is when I hear, same thing for like when I hear about the nervous system of children that have been like in toxic scenarios that are like 1 to 7 years old. You have to think about it like my uncles that would live with my parents, because they were all young, they were real young. They would hear me crying, and I'd be crying for so long that my uncle would wrap me up and take me to my grandmother's house as a baby. That means nobody woke up to get me. Nobody got up. Like they watched me walk out the house. You have to think about, I know, don't go there. Like you have to think about like the nervous system that I've got. But when I really tune in, I know that I came here for something else. Like I know that you did too, because you're sitting on this call.
And you're asking the question.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why that doesn't read, is because it may be here. So I can do something but not mine. It's a story, but not ours. You don't lead with that. I don't lead with that, but it's in there. And so we can utilize our tools to migrate that out of our nervous systems if it hides in there, right? Wherever it hides in the body, whatever that looks like. And the tools it could be the QHHT session. It could even be a hypnosis session. But whatever those things are, I don't even care if it comes from us. Find those things and just run the chakras. Buy the chakras thing and let that run in the background. That will definitely regulate those pieces, and ask that it leaves. Ask that you don't have to carry that in anywhere where it's hidden in within you anymore.
Right.
And Liz said, thank you, exclamation points. Thank you. Thank you for letting me get that out too. Yeah.
Woo. Any other questions? We'll give you a few more questions. We start the next session in about 5 minutes.
Yay. Take a deep breath. And anything that doesn't allow you to believe that this is available for you and that you can change, and that anywhere you have any skepticism, will you destroy and uncreate, please? And just ask God, universe, spirit, I'm willing to change. I'm willing to show up as more. I am willing to be on purpose, whatever that looks like. Even if the word purpose bothers me, I'm willing to be that which I have designed for me. And I'm willing to just see things differently. And anything that doesn't allow me to receive that, I will release. I release that now. Help me to release that. Help me to have other ways in which that I can receive. And always have the faith that I'm already receiving in co-creation with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is.
Thank you.
Oh, Dana says, thank you ×3. Can QHH do? Yes. Mia, yes, it can be done online. The traditional thought when Dolores Cannon passed, when she passed, I believe it was like 2017, is that it couldn't be done online. Today, Dolores Cannon didn't know that first of all, Dolores Cannon didn't live through COVID when there was originally that put online. Sorry, whenever it was declared that people couldn't do it online, COVID hadn't happened yet. And the other things that we didn't have the type of technology that we have today. The biggest reason why you might come there's a school of thought that says that you can't do it online. And that's true. The school of thought, QHHT, some people will tell you that it can't be done online. It can be done online. The reason why that the school of thought that says that it can't be done online is because Dolores Cannon was worried about monitoring you. And now that we have really great technology and communications and everything, so what I do, and I'll just take it for myself, what I do to help monitor people, because I agree, if I can't monitor you, I will not do the session online. What we do is a 15-minute consultation. We go through your technology. I look at where you're going to lay at. What is your lighting going to look like? How am I going to be able to are we doing this with a laptop? Can I make sure that your sound is good? I want to make sure that if you get up to go to the bathroom, I don't have to follow you, but I can see when you get back, because you'll stay under. I want to see your body, your torso and your body and your breathing, because again, it's important that I be able to facilitate you should you come into a past life or something like that. That might be a little scary or something like that. I need to be able to visually see where your body is going to give me responses first. And so I just make sure that all of those things in that consultation before that 15, when we do that consultation, and then we'll have that same exact setup for your actual session. So we do that consultation before, like a week's or whatever before your actual session. And that's why, yeah. But I've had amazing results with people online. In fact, I just did this gentleman the other day who thought that he could not be hypnotized. And I said, I don't know why, but I have this really unique ability. Maybe it's because I did that big project that I really can get people to go under and go far and deep. And then they do. And he met 3 guides of his in his life between lives. And they were able to let him know what kind of soul he is and why he felt so different. He's got a really unique ability to create music that heals. And so he's worked with Sony and everything. So they gave him guidance about that. So that's really remarkable. And we did it all online.
Yeah.
I do have a link for my QHHT sessions. I can put that in.
Yeah, send us an email.
Send me an email. Send me an email at team@houthustle.com.
Yeah.
And I actually am running a little bit of a discount right now too. So I'll get that to you.
Fabulous.